going on, everybody? Robbie Diesel here, joined again for a second time by none other than Mr. TJ Sterling.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
It's been a couple years, man. How you been?
I've been great, man. It's a pleasure to see you as always. We've been incredibly busy. We actually debuted, well, since I last saw you guys, I have two comics that came out, Okemos issue 2 and Okemos issue 3. And we've been doing really, really well, doubling up on convention visits. We did 12 this year. This was the last show of the year here at Grand Rapids Comic Con. And we've been really killing it, man. So I'm very, very grateful and thankful to everybody that's been supporting.
12 shows, that's a lot, man. That's
Absolutely.
A whole lot. What kicked up the doubling in the business there?
Honestly, man, like I'm trying to take my property and my IP as far as humanly possible and really stretch to different markets, you know what I'm saying? Do my own self-distribution, you know, the whole selling stuff out of the trunk type of mentality for now.
Right.
Because, you know, when you go through Diamond or larger distributors, they do take a huge percentage of the book. And obviously you don't get to meet the artist and really enjoy the experience of getting to know what he's about, the mission, et cetera, et cetera. So really just trying to push this stuff as far as humanly possible.
Right on. So what's the feedback been like across the nation? You've been globe-trotting a little bit.
Yeah.
Well received generally?
Well, very, very well received generally. I mean, I definitely will say that, man, like every show is a little different when it comes to the people which you and I were talking about earlier.
For sure.
But people love the book, and the biggest thing that I get from everybody is always the same question: when's the next one coming out? When's the next book? Et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, I'd love to give it to everybody right now, but quality takes time when you're one guy writing and drawing and then obviously supervising a business.
Right.
But yeah, man, the feedback's been really great.
So how do you stay on track? It's very rare that you see people that do both the story and the art.
That's
right.
right.
It's got to be a challenge getting everything out there.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, like, I think what it is pushing yourself, especially in this particular type of industry. When you're a creative and you're in the comic book world, you have to really, really hustle. You've got to push yourself, especially if you want to be successful, harder than most people. Like, you got to be like, you know what? If I'm gonna write and draw, I got to break this into segments. Okay, so I'm gonna just focus on writing right now, which is what I'm doing for Okemos issue 4, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about 10 pages in. It's gonna be a 20-page book, and then I'm gonna start drawing right afterwards. So writing season, drawing season, and then after drawing's done, the convention season begins. So it's all budgeted time-wise, and then with something that's more organized. Yeah.
Right on. So what direction generally are you trying to push the story into? You want to go out into a bigger, expansive universe, or is it mainly just focusing on the story of Okemos right now?
Well, Okemos has got 3 more books to basically finish the main arc.
Right.
So we get up to issue 6, and then once issue 6 is done, Okemos takes a brief hiatus while I continue to write issue 2, and then, ladies and gentlemen, fun fact, ding, 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 ding. Tessina, named female character right here next to us, she gets her own miniseries after Okemos completes, solely written just by me, and I have a separate art team doing the art, so I'm just serving as a writer. And that, I already have 3 scripts completed, already done, and that's also going to be a 6-issue arc, but that's something that I also completed this year. So again, we're moving real quick.
Right, and that's an exclusive. Just for you guys.
Just here on his show. That's right.
So is it important for you to maintain, because I know we talked last time when we spoke about diversity in the comics, and you're moving towards a story arc that has, a female lead, so obviously diversity is important.
Absolutely.
In your realm. Can you speak a little more to that in regards to what made you choose Tessina as the next lead?
Well, absolutely. I mean, great question. And first of all, diversity in comics is literally the backbone and the foundational stone, I guess you could say, of Ray Comics. I mean, that's what we're all about with every single one of our characters. Anybody who's read the book knows that, each character has a different ethnic background of some sort. The main character's best friend is Dominican, Hispanic lady. Kale's best friend, Brianna Martin. I'm trying to think, Masar, the guy in purple right over here, is based on a good friend of mine named Jim Lee, who's 6'3" Asian dude. So the diversity is woven throughout the story, and honestly, I just love seeing female lead characters that are of color that just kick ass in general in anything. So like, I've always been a huge Storm fan. Always been a huge Misty Knight fan forever, so I wanted to do a book about a black female superhero that was just dope, intelligent, kick-ass, all of that. And that's what Tessina's miniseries is going to bring to the table. And honestly, anybody who's ever looked at the Okuma story, Tessina pops out. Like, it stands out, and people are incredibly attracted to her character, whether they're male or female. There's just something about her that speaks to them. So that was also, it was already in my mind that I wanted to do a miniseries for her, but I didn't really tell anybody. I just wanted to see what everybody's reaction was. So,
What the feedback was.
and I was correct about it. So you guys are really gonna love it once it drops.
Awesome, man, and that's always good to hear. I love hearing that the feedback has been great for you. I remember the very first interview that we did, you were just kind of getting your feet wet. What's it like now? Now that you've gotten everything established and you're going to these different cons, is the grind a little bit different? Do you find yourself pushing harder now because you have that library already out there?
I would definitely say yes. I mean, now but I'm much more confident now than ever, because when you have one comic book, it's just kind of like, okay, here's one, and people don't know if you're going to be back. Because, you know, to be perfectly honest, you already know this, the comic book industry is very rough, you know what I'm saying, especially on creators, and when you're writing and drawing, it takes a lot of energy, tons of time, lots of sacrifice, and not everybody makes it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got friends in the business that, they haven't had a new book in 2 years. So, I mean, it's one of those things that, like, not everybody is able to consistently come out with new material. And luckily, here at Ray Comics, we never falter. We always come out on time. Every June, July, we drop a new book. It's been like clockwork for the past 4 years. And, yeah, man, I would definitely say that now that I have a library, it's easier to pitch the entire story. And when people get the entire story, they crave even more, because the stories are dynamic and good, but they're easily digestible. So people can read all 4 issues just like that, and then they want more. So I think my biggest challenge now is creating more of an online Facebook, Instagram response rate, because typically I'm in my cave drawing and creating, and then I go do my shows and I'm traveling. So I'm looking to either hire people for that. So if anybody knows stuff about social media, you want to hit me up, you let me know, we might be able to do some business together. But yeah, online presence is the next big thing.
It is. It's very important for pretty much any business, especially in the comic industry in itself. Now you've experienced successes, right? And we've seen how sometimes people get that little taste of success and then they get a little big for the britches.
Yeah.
How important is it for you, and more importantly for the audience, or your audience in particular, in regards to remaining humble, or humility even? How important is that in regards to pushing your product?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's incredibly important. I mean, if you're not humble and you're not grateful for the stuff that you get and the people you meet, and you're not going to last, because people don't like assholes. Basically, they don't.
That's
like
a fact.
Yeah, for sure. So it's one of those things that I have always been the type that I love coming to cons specifically for the people. I'm not here to make money off anybody. I mean, we make money selling because I'm giving you a quality product, but I don't come here to make a number, you know what I'm saying, to hit a goal financially. I'm here specifically because I love being around you guys, the fans. I love selling my work, and I love meeting new people and inspiring young generation. I just had an incredible moment yesterday where I took 20 minutes with a young artist who was just like me when I first started coming to cons like over a decade ago, who wanted to do what I did. And at one point I was in the other side of the table. So those moments right there make me grateful for being an artist and being in the position I'm at, and makes me even more grateful and want to continue to give back. So for me, it's just like being humble. It just comes with who I am as a person, but also it's just the key, in my opinion, to any artist's success.
Right. And so we're sitting here at Grand Rapids Comic Con.
Yes.
You're based out of New York, right?
I'm based out of New York, but I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Grand Rapids.
That's right.
What's it like being back home, man?
I love it, man. I gotta say, I wish the show was done in a different month, maybe a warmer one, you know what I'm saying? Because the day that I get here, it starts snowing, and it's not currently snowing in New York. So there's that. But I love being back home, man. It's a good feeling. It's good to see family, friends, and just be in my old stomping grounds, and then to close out my convention season here at this particular show.
Right.
Yeah.
That's got to be pretty cool, man. Now, we know, again, the comic business is very difficult to break into. But it's also one where you kind of start to see stories and characters all kind of mold into each other, and that's what drew me into Oakham. This is a very original storyline.
Thank you.
How do you find your own individual voice in this large, noisy scene that is the comic book world? Like, where does the inspiration for your original characters come from?
Man, I love that question. This guy right here, man. Like, you understand, I've done a lot of interviews, but my favorite person to interview and talk with is Rob over here.
Thank you.
And because he goes in and he asks the right questions to get quality answers for you guys who are watching. And, you know, honestly, man, like, I approach everything from a fan's point of view because I've been a fan of comics like since the early 80s, you know what I'm saying? Well, I would say like mid 80s, so which was when I was like 7, 8 years old, first started picking up comics, you know, at Argos Comic Book Shop, you know, in East Town, Grand Rapids, Michigan. And yeah, man, like I approach everything from a fan's point of view. So my whole goal was like, if I'm gonna make a story, I'm gonna make it unique, I'm gonna make it interesting, I'm gonna make it about people of color. I'm gonna coalesce different things that I loved about 90s animation, cartoons. I really wanted to make it a rich tapestry of just different things. So for me, you know, hey man, like making a story that you guys will love is my most important and most like pertinent thing when it comes to every time I come to the drawing table. It's got to be something that everyone will love.
Right on. So, last Comic-Con of the year.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna kick back and you're gonna rest for a little bit.
Yeah.
What's next after that?
Man, I mean, there's a tiny bit of rest period. Maybe I'll take 1 week off, but I do need to finish writing duties on Okemist issue 4. So, I'm 10 pages in, halfway done. You guys are going to love this book once it's done because it's just like issue 3 was it has been my best work to date, so I encourage you guys to pick that up if you haven't already. But issue 4 is going to be even better because the art's going to be stepped up, the story's going to be better, and we're at a point now where we're at this like epic action, you know, big budget movie feel inside the book. So back to the writing of Okemist issue 4. And once that's done, the drawing starts, which will most likely be in December, January. And from there, you know, you'll see me soon.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Hey, man, it's been an absolute pleasure once
Absolutely.
again. I appreciate you being on.
Yeah.
Robbie Diesel, TJ Sterling, be on the lookout.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, man.
My pleasure.